with Amy K YouTube Live, and I apologize for wiggling the screen around here a little bit. And I actually got started earlier than I had planned to too, because I just clearly wasn't paying attention and hit the wrong button. But we're live, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it. So thanks everybody for joining today. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully you all had a nice 4th of July if you were celebrating here in the US with us. So again, just trying to straighten a few things out and make sure that I'm sort of centered in here. And yeah, so there we go. All right, let's see. So this is the card we are going to be making today. Hey, Robin and Marilyn, thanks for hopping in a few minutes early. Like I said, I kind of accidentally tapped the button to go live, and I'm like, oh, I guess I better get my act together and go live. So, hey, Carol, thanks for joining today. So it's a pretty quick and simple card. I know the last couple that I've made have been a little bit longer videos. This one probably will be fairly short. But yeah, it's some new products from the new online exclusives that are available. So I thought I'd play with them and make kind of a fun little celebrate card. It definitely has a feel of kind of holiday. So if you wanted to switch it and make it a Christmas card, you could really easily do that with this one. Maybe just switch out the colors and switch the blue to red. But yeah, I think you could make this be a Christmas card really easily if you like the design on it. It's pretty quick and simple to do. So I see, is it Siri? I'm not. Hopefully I didn't say your name totally wrong. And Sally and Christine, thanks for hopping in today as well. All right, so the main stamp set that we're going to be using, well, one of the main, I don't know, it's about 50-50. This one is the one that the sentiments came from. So it's the iconic Imagery stamp set, and it's kind of one of those, again, it's an online exclusive, so it is available now to purchase, and it's got Christmas, and there's little hearts, so you can, and a loved one, so you can do Valentine's Day. There's a candle, so you can do birthday, leaves for fall, snowflakes, little Christmas trees, kind of some greenery, stars. So it's one of those, it's a very versatile set. You can use it for all sorts of different occasions. And then it's got a great set of dies that coordinate with it. So I see Amanda and Patricia and Linda are here as well. So you just ordered it yesterday. It's a good one. You're going to like it and have fun playing with it. So hey, Kathy. So this is the die set that goes with it. There are some of the open dies like this one and this one. This one cuts out the candle. This one will cut out your greenery. This one will cut out your heart. This one cuts out the little set of berries. This one cuts out the star, the tree. This one will cut out your snowflake. This one will cut out your leaf. This one cuts out the flame on the candle. And then there are some accessory dies. So there's this one that will cut out some of your larger sentiments. This one will cut out your smaller sentiments. And then we have this one that cuts out the big words on here. So that is the one that I used today. Actually, I'm early today, Carol. So like I said, I accidentally hit the button to go live a little sooner than I planned. And then I just fumbled my way through it. So we're here, and that's all that matters. So, all right. The other stamp set that I used is the Golden Greenery stamp set bundle. And again, this is another one of the new online exclusives from Stampin' Up. And it's, again, just greenery and bells. And again, you can make it be Christmas or holiday. If you did them in, I don't know, shades of yellows and oranges, you could make it be a fall card. So again, just one of those. It's a good basic stamp set, and it's got a great set of dies that coordinate with it. So again, the open dies, this one will cut out your little pine bough. This one cuts out whatever that is, the one we're using today. And then this one will cut out this stamped image, and then there are dies to cut out the bells and the berries. And then there are some accessory dies as well, just the basic pine boughs, this piece of greenery, whatever that might be. And then there is another one that will cut out some additional little berries. So it is, again, another one of those really good basic stamp sets that I think everybody needs to have. And it is in a suite. The Golden Greenery is part of the Seasons of Green and Gold, Seasons of Gold and Green. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a suite, and this one there's another stamp set that's got sentiments and sentiment dies, tag dies, designer series paper, all sorts of awesome things that go with it. Again, it's in a suite. So, all right, let me set these aside here. And then we have the final thing that I used on here is so much better to see it live. It definitely is much better because the online store, it's really hard to see the stuff. So I agree. I always want to see it live and play with it. That's why I order everything. So the other thing that I had used on this is the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. And I use that kind of on the background on the white panel. It's probably a little hard to see it in the video, but hopefully you'll be able to see it if I hold it, kind of trying to get the angle right so that the light is on it just so. So I did emboss that with the exposed brick 3D embossing folder. All right. This phone is making me nervous. I got a new clip for my phone, and so I'm hoping it'll hold. So, okay. Before we get started, bonus days are going on right now from Stampin' Up! And that is for every $50 in merchandise that you purchase through the Stampin' Up! Store, you are going to get a $5 off coupon to spend at some point in August. So it's an awesome little deal. Buy now, save later kind of thing. So yeah, get your orders put in. You can order all this new product if you'd like. You don't have to order it, but you can use it and earn coupons with the new online exclusive items as well. So let me know if you have questions about that. Its details are posted out on my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. And then online exclusives, just wanted to remind you to go take a look at those. We're using some of the products out of here today on my card. And then there's some more of the products that we're using today. So this is part of that suite. So this is what was the name of the suite? Somewhere on here it has to be. Season of Green and Gold. That is the name of the suite officially. So this is part also of the online exclusives. That does not include everything that is an online exclusive. There's a whole bunch of things out there. So go take a peek. You can find it in the online store. If you go in there and just click on the menu and then online exclusives, it's one of the items in the menu, so you'll be able to find it quick and easily. All right. For my card base, because I like the top fold cards, I know not everyone does, but I prefer those. So this one is actually a 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 across the top card. But I also am going to show you that you can make this same card with your standard card base if you prefer to have the 8 1/2 by 5 1/2 and scored at 4 1/4 down the middle card. This is one of those cards that you can use with either one. So let's get started with, I've got a couple of pieces of Designer Series paper. So this is from the Regal's 6x6 Designer Series paper pack, and this is garden green in color. The flip side has got a little different design on it. And I trimmed off, I was going to use, again, sometimes when I'm not feeling, I don't know, quite as cheap, then I will go ahead and use the cover the whole front of this with a piece of Designer Series paper. But since so much of it was going to be covered by the main panel, I just put little strips of it along the edge. And I didn't measure them exactly. They're probably, although I should make sure I have the right one here before I start gluing things down. Yeah, I do. Yeah, okay. I had a moment of, oh, this one looks smaller than that one. So anyway, want to make sure I had the right ones, and I do. So we're just going to take a little Stampin' Seal. These are probably about 3/4 of an inch wide. Again, I probably only needed about 1/2 inch, but it's easier to have it be a little wider than you need than have it be too small and have the edge sticking out that you don't want sticking out. And you will note I did not trim off the extra little 1/2 inch here. We'll do that with the paper snips as soon as I get them stuck down. I like to leave a little bit when I'm doing a long strip like that. I like to leave a little bit of extra because I feel like it gives me a little bit of a tail that I can kind of move it around and look at it on the card base before I stick everything down. So, all right. Hey, Deborah, thanks for joining. So, all right. So now my awesome fussy cutting skills. I know you'll be impressed. I'm just going to take that, snip these right off here. And then again, nobody will know that we cheated and just put the little strips on the card front, except you and I, because we're here. All right, so let's do a little stamping. This piece of paper is basic white, and it's cut to 3 1/2 by 5 1/2. And we're going to start by stamping the kind of the detailed greenery is what I call this one. So it's the thinner of the pine boughs in garden green ink, and we're just going to stamp it, I don't know, probably 6 times or so across the panel here. So I want to have one up here, and then we'll do another one sort of like that, and then another one over here. I think we'll kind of go like that. And then we'll take another one and we'll put it down probably about there. And it's going to kind of look a mess in the middle, but that doesn't matter because we're actually going to be covering that all up with our sentiment in a minute. So nobody's going to see that it's kind of overstamped and looking all yucky under there, except, well, again, you and I, because we're here, but nobody else will know that. All right, so we kind of got our mess of stamped image there. Then I'm going to grab the more solid of the pine boughs. So this is the second stamp for it, and we're going to ink it as well in garden green. And then I'm going to stamp it on scrap paper. And then I'm just going to go over here, and we're going to find the image that I stamped initially and just stamp this right over the top. It doesn't have to line up perfectly. and it probably is not really even designed to line up perfectly. You can get it pretty close, but all good. It's just supposed to look a little bit of a layer. So let me make sure I've got it on the right piece of greenery there. There we go. And again, just going to do that all the way around here. That. Couple more. One more here. And then this one over the top of the final piece over there. All right. So that's, again, it looks a little messy in the middle, but all we're going to see is the very edges of it, so nobody will know that it looks all yucky under there. Again, except you and I, because we're here. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my embossing folder. Again, this is the exposed brick. I was going to call it textured brick, and I knew that wasn't right. So, all right. I like the double stamping on it too. I think it's really pretty that way. So I'm just going to take this and slide it into the embossing folder. Since this is one of the 3D embossing folders, a couple things about the embossing folders. I guess I should start with that. There's a little line that runs across the bottom of most of them, and that actually is designed to help you line things up straight. And now if it doesn't matter to you whether it's straight or not, you don't have to pay any attention to it, but that will help you line up. If you line up your paper straight with that line, then you know that it's going to be straight inside the folder. And again, 3D embossing folders, the sandwich for those is the base plate. And there are other machines that this will work in, so you don't have to have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Any standard cutting machine will work. So you're just going to put your base plate first, then the embossing folder with the paper inside it next, and then the specialty plate goes on top. So if you have one of the other machines, you probably do not have the specialty plate. But the good news is that Stampin' Up! Does sell the specialty plate separately. I think it's $11 or $12, somewhere in that range. So it's pretty inexpensive, but it will make using the 3D embossing folders so much easier. So trust me, grab it. If you have a standard cutting machine, you're going to love the plate. So stamps the autumn leaves with your name under it. Is it only available as separate items? Yes, it is now. It was bundled in the mini catalog last fall, but once it goes out of the mini catalog, Stampin' Up! Takes the bundle pricing out of it. So yes, you can get it still, but it's available as the stamp set and the dies. So hopefully that helps. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and run this through the die cutting machine. And we'll swap out the plates here. So we're set up and ready for die cutting next. And get that out of the way. And then we've got a nice little embossed. Again, this embossing folder it's not like tons and tons of texture, but it's just enough that I think it looked pretty under this. Then I've got a little piece of garden green cardstock, which hopefully I've cut correctly. This is about 3 5/8 by 5 1/2. So if I have everything cut correctly, these two should layer pretty nicely together, which I think they're going to, so we're going to stick them together. I've got Stampin' Seal that I'm going to use, and when I've embossed one of the panels and the other one is flat, I usually try to put the adhesive on the flat panel if I can, just to avoid smushing the embossing, because sometimes I get a little heavy-handed with the adhesive and it smashes the embossing, and I don't want that to happen. I want it to look all pretty. So, all right, I'm lining it up here and hopefully getting it stuck down straight and together. Making sure my ends are lined up, which it looks like they are, and then we'll give it a little smush there. So, you did make it live, Julie. Thanks for hopping in. And then I just stuck some adhesive on there that I don't need. So I'll leave this this way for now because I need to tie some thread around it. And we're going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals that I'll have to put a few extra along this side. So all good. Linen thread was what I meant to do, not the adhesive, but my fingers will probably be a little sticky, but we'll make it work. All right, trying to get a little extra thread over here because I know it's going to stick on the back now that I've stuck adhesive on it. Grabbing linen thread, and we're just going to wrap it around here twice. Leave a little extra, try not to stick that to my paper. And again, don't do as I did, do as I say. So don't put the adhesive on it until you've tied this because you'll have a sticky mess. All right, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to tie it so that it's way over to the very edge of the cardstock, because that sentiment die cut does cover up the vast majority of the front panel here. So I know I need the silicone mat. So I should have pulled it out. It's in my drawer, but it's kind of not within easy reach of me right now. So, all right, got that done, and we'll trim off the little extra that we've got here. Now we're going to stick it to the card front with some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I will put a few extra along this edge just so that hopefully I don't end up with it sticking to the card front weirdly on the one side. All right, there we go. That should be plenty to hold it. Hi, Diane and Michelle. Thanks everybody for joining. So, all right, sticking a few more dimensionals around here. Don't have to probably put quite as many on this side since I didn't make a mess of the adhesive and put it all in the wrong place. All right, and I do chop my Stampin' Dimensionals in half. If you prefer the whole ones, you can certainly use those. Or if you prefer the minis, you can use those too. Now don't stick on the back of there. That'll be the other thing I'll have to keep an eye on, is making sure I don't stick my bow to the back of it. Golly. All right, back to the card front. We're gonna bring that back in, and I'm gonna try to line it up here on my grid paper so that I've got an edge here and an edge here. And then I'm going to try to get this lined up so that it's relatively even between the two edges and relatively straight top to bottom. Before I smash everything down, I'm just going to do a quick check. Make sure it's fit on here the way I want it to be. And I think it is. And get that out from under there before it sticks itself to the inside of the card. And that's it. So card front, almost done. Then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock. So, oh, thanks, Rosie. And I've got the larger sentiment here from the iconic Imagery stamp set, and we're going to stamp that in Blueberry Bushel ink on the cardstock panel. So ink that up, and we'll stamp it. Ooh, there's a little spot that didn't get very well inked, so we'll try it again. Stamp that on the basic white cardstock. There we go. And then I'm going to close that up before I stick my fingers in it. I saw someone use their fingers. You can actually roll it and rub. That's usually what I do when I'm by myself, is I roll it along the edge and it will come up, but it's a lot of wiggling on the screen and I didn't want to make you all seasick, so I didn't do it. But yes, you definitely can, or you can grab, if you've got an embossing buddy, you can grab one of those and tap a bunch of the powder from the embossing buddy over. This is what happens when I start talking. I almost put you on there instead of the let's. So we want let's celebrate on the front. We're going to put you on the inside. Golly. All right. I might as well leave that open because I guess we've got some more stamping to do. This is Granny Apple Green ink that I was using. I think I started to say you can tap your embossing buddy over the adhesive too. And if you put a bunch of the powder from the embossing buddy all over the sticky part, that'll take the sticky off of it. All things that I've learned because I've messed up enough stuff that, you know, you just want to know a few tricks for getting the gluey stuff off. So again, these are from the Golden Greenery stamp set. So we're inking that up in Garden or Granny Apple Green ink, stamping it on scrap paper. And then we're going to come over here and line it up and try to stamp it right over the top of the other Greenery image. Ink it, stamp it off. And I usually, when I'm stamping the two-step images like this, usually will stamp the darker color. Whichever way around I'm doing it, I stamp the darker color first. Just because it makes it a little bit easier. I can see through the lighter colors often much easier than I can the darker ones. So when it's lighter, makes it easier for the second layer of stamping. So use the embossing buddy when you miss some sticky. Yep, it definitely works. So I use the embossing buddy a lot. So, all right. So I'm going to grab my dies, and again, from the iconic Imagery, we're going to take this large sentiment die, and we're going to use that one. And then I'm going to have to run it through twice, but this is the die that we're going to cut the Greenery with, and this one comes from the Golden Greenery stamp set. So let me run these through the die cutting machine. Okay, got the sentiment in the first one of these. Die cut. All right, lining up the second one. Put that back before I lose it. And there's my second die cut. So, and I agree, Amanda, it is just like magic when you do the two-step stamping. It's so pretty and it gives it so much kind of depth and texture and all that good stuff. And, you know, you didn't have to do anything other than just a little stamping and you get it all, you know, as part of the stamp set. So, ordered it on the 3rd. It's, oh man, it's a good one. You're going to have fun playing with this stuff. So I'm glad you like the tutorials. I have fun doing them and try not to mess too many things up, but you know, that's half the fun of it, is showing you guys all the stuff I goof up on, and so that you don't have to do it yourself. So, all right. Got some little mini glue dots, and I'm just taking a couple of those to stick them on the back of my Greenery die cuts. And again, it's going to look not really very pretty this way. You're going to be like, ooh, that's not really a look. I don't like the way it looks. But when you put that big sentiment over the top of it, nobody's going to see it. All right, so got the little Greenery pieces on here, and then here's my die cut sentiment from the iconic Imagery stamp set. And we're going to grab a couple more Stampin' Dimensionals. The only thing that I'm going to be a little bit aware of is just making sure that I don't put any right across the center, because I've got my linen thread running over the center of my cardstock panel here, and I want to make sure that I don't end up with a weird bump or lump in my sentiment. So by sticking them out to the edges, I don't have to worry about that. So, all right, let me go ahead and slide this over here. And again, like I said, it fits almost over the entire 3.5-inch piece of cardstock that I've got here. So it's not terrible to line it up, but I'm just trying to kind of get it and make sure I've got it fairly centered. That's the main thing. And then we'll smush it down there. And now all you have to do is add a little bit of bling, and the card front's going to be all done. So, all right, I have got a couple of the Tinsel Gem 4-pack gems, and I'm going to use the Blueberry Bushel little gems in here. And we're going to stick one of the larger ones on and one of the littler ones over here, and then one of the smaller ones up over here, and that's going to be it for the card front. So it's super quick and easy. And like I said, I love the Greenery set and the big sentiment on there. I love the font in that one. So it's a great kind of mix and match set. So even if you don't love all of the imagery in this one, it's got lots of good sentiments and lots of good uses. So don't look past it. All right, let me grab the sentiment that I meant to stamp, the little U sentiment that I was going to stamp almost on the card front by mistake. And we're going to grab Blueberry Bushel ink, and we will stamp that sentiment in Blueberry Bushel here in the middle of the panel. And then I'm going to go back to my Garden Green ink and the 2 pine bough images. Oh, they're stuck to the paper. So I've got Garden Green ink, and we're going to ink up the little detailed image first, and we're going to stamp it over the top. And I better move those cards out of the way, because you know that I will stick this right on top of the card and then I will be sad. So we got the detailed image, and then we've got the more solid image, and again we're going to stamp that off and just layer it right over the top. And put that one right over the top here. And like I said, if you like this for Christmas, I think this would make a great Christmas card as well. So again, with the Greenery in it, you can just change up the colors a little bit of the inks that you use. You could have a Christmas card, or like I said, change it to yellows and oranges and have it be a fall card. So all sorts of things you can do with it. So have the paper and the dies, but don't know if you actually ordered the stamp set. Well, good news is you've got plenty of time to do it. It's one of the new online exclusives, so it should be around for a little while anyway. And this is basic white cardstock, by the way, that's cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And we're just going to take that and put it here inside the card base with a little stamp and seal. There we go. And I'm going to grab the bone folder, and we'll flip that closed and do a little crease here along the edge with the bone folder. And it's all done. So like I said, my original card base was one of the top fold ones. This is a side fold. So you get to take your pick which one you like better. You can make it however you want. So all the details for this will be posted on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will link directly to the blog post once it goes live around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So you'll be able to go find all the measurements and all the stuff that I use. So no need to worry about figuring out, what the die cuts are and that sort of thing. It'll all be posted tomorrow. So let me know if you have questions questions about anything, again, these are the new online exclusive items, so make sure you're taking a look at those anytime you're shopping in the Stampin' Up! Online store. And then don't forget, you're going to earn your $5 off coupons during the month of July on all of your orders. And demonstrators do too, by the way, so that's a nice little bonus if you're thinking of joining. We still get all the same bonuses that you guys do. And then spend them in August. So let me know if you have questions about anything. I appreciate you guys being here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully everybody's getting a nice long holiday weekend. And I will plan to see you. I'm going to, again, tentatively planning to go live around 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday next week because we've got some appointments and things in the afternoon. So it's summer and the schedule's crazy. And then I will plan to be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Friday here on my YouTube channel. So we will chat with you all soon. And thanks everybody for being here.